I went inside, I brushed my teeth, I did my hair, I came back, and I have 87 email drafts in Kit waiting to be sent out. That's insane. And it's all like my work. It's not even like, oh, it's just garbage AI stuff. It's like, no, it's actually based on the content that we already created.
Welcome back to the My Wife Quit Her Job podcast. Today we're going to talk about a tool that both Tony and I are using that has basically changed my life forever. In fact, it's so good that I feel like I'm getting dumber every week. And that tool is Claude Code, obviously.
You think you're getting dumber?
I am, because I'm using my brain less.
Interesting.
You don't feel that way?
No, I feel the absolute opposite.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we start with all the different use cases? The reason why I'm feeling dumber is, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So I'm using Claude Code, and I've trained it to talk like me, to write like me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now when I want to come up with a YouTube script, I tell it what I want. I tell it what stories I want to put in it. And then it outputs a script that's like 85% of the way there.
Okay.
And so I don't have to write anything anymore. Before, I used to have to use my brain to figure out, what words to put together and whatnot. But it's all right there in a markdown file in Claude Code.
Okay. So I feel the opposite in that I feel like, because I'm not like a computer person. I mean, I work on a computer, but I'm not like a techie computer person, that figuring out all the things that it can do and learning how to put all the information in and, connect everything. Like, to me, I'm like constantly learning how to do all this. And so I actually feel like, oh, I'm learning so much more. I'm also not using it to write as much as I am to do everything else. So that's probably the other component, right? I'm using it more in the analytics. And basically for me, it's like, I hate to say this publicly, I feel like I've gotten my life back. I feel like I've gained like 30 hours a week in time. Don't go giving me crap to do because I just said that. So,
well, here's the problem. Like, I feel like it's saved me a lot of time too, but it's also made me more stressed because now I can do more. I'm trying to fill up my schedule with, all the stuff that I couldn't do before.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel good that you're actually getting stuff done?
Well, I always used to get stuff done, but now like there's more on the plate.
Okay.
Right. Because of that, which stresses me out. And then there's a new tool coming out every single week.
Yeah.
That I got to learn. So, I'm having a great time. Don't get me wrong. I'm having the best time, but on the flip side, I'm feeling just stressed trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. I'm not to that point yet. I'm not stressed out about it. I'm in the euphoria. What is it? The 5 stages of Claude Code. I'm in euphoria.
Yeah. So it's greatly saved my life in terms of social media optimization. So like I said, that YouTube video, I tell it what topic I want. It gives me an outline. I don't even type anymore. I just verbally tell it, hey, this is the story I want to use for this section, this section, this section, this section. It drafts something. Usually it's not clear on certain things. It asks me for more numbers. And so I give it numbers, and out comes this like beautiful script that's been, kicking ass on my channel, actually. So.
Okay, so let's start with this, because I feel like the people listening are probably a wide variety of skill set. So for a long time, I wouldn't say a long time in AI years, like 2 days, I did not know that like Claude and Claude Code and Claude Cowork were like 3 different things. I thought it was all the same. So I didn't really understand. So I've been using Claude for a long time. Also in AI years, 6 months, whatever. I was a big Chat GPTer. Like that was my go-to. And then what actually moved me to Claude was Chat GPT is really bad with numbers, even with spreadsheets, I have found. I feel like that Chat doesn't always get the formulas right. I feel like it often hallucinates and makes up numbers. And so in sort of a desperation, I started moving some of the stuff that I was doing in Chat to Claude as far as creating a lot of the data organization. And I found that Claude was superior. And maybe it's not that Claude maths any better, but the formulas are always better. And so, and I always check those things. I still don't like fully trust it to do that kind of stuff. I like to double check the work. But that's how I moved into like, I kind of shifted from Chat to Claude for all of the analytics and data stuff that I was doing. And so I was doing that very happily, living my best life. And then you were like, oh, are you using Claude Code? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, on your computer. I was like, yeah. And you're like, I don't think you are.
I don't remember that conversation,
Yeah.
but
Because I was like, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm doing. And then, a little internet rabbit hole that night. And I was like, oh, I'm not using Claude Code. I was just using Claude and inputting everything into Claude, which I would say is like the baby step way, right? So
yeah,
I
of
was
course.
opening up Claude, typing it into your browser. And then I would have exported, let's just use Klaviyo as an example. I would have exported, like, here's all my flows from April. Here's all my campaigns from April. Let's evaluate. Let's, look for red flags. Let's look for winners, that kind of thing. And it would spit out very nice spreadsheets for me that then I could use to, make decisions, take next steps, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So most people are probably using Claude that way. I mean, the next step in the evolution is Claude Cowork. Although I always recommend everyone just skip that step and
I would
just jump
skip it
straight to
too.
Claude Code.
I made the mistake of going to Claude Cowork. I do think it has some interesting like features, but I feel like everything that it does you can do in Claude Code. So
Oh, you can. Claude Code is way more versatile.
yeah. So skip Cowork. And then good. So then you were like, you have to install it on your computer. And have you seen Zoolander?
Of course. That's your favorite movie.
It is my favorite movie.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where they're trying to get the hard drive that has all the incriminating evidence, and they're in the office, and there's like an old eMac, and they're like, it's in the computer, and they start to like bang on the computer to like break it open to get what's in the computer, not realizing like what. So that's often how I feel when I talk to you. I'm like, it's in the computer, right? So anyway, so then I was like, okay, yeah, I got to do Claude Code, but I'm going to be honest, I did not even know. I have a Mac, several Macs, and I was like, a terminal, like what the heck is a terminal and where do I find it? And here's the good news for all of the people like me out there. I just opened up Claude and I was like, hey, I want to install Claude Code. Will you walk me through it step by step? And it did, but then I was worried I was going to run out of my like credits. So then I opened ChatGPT and I was like, can you help me install Claude Code? And it can do that as well for you. So if you have to like, manage your credits, ChatGPT will also tell you how to install Claude Code.
That's really funny, actually. I'm on the max plan now, so I never run out of credits.
I'm about to upgrade, but this was 2 weeks ago when it was like 100 years ago in AI years.
One thing it does make me sad, though, I think is, all the skills that I've built up over the years, computer skills, it's becoming less and less valuable now.
Yes.
And ironically, I think the skill that's the most powerful is being able to just articulate what you want.
Yes.
Right. And so in a way, like, I'm happy that I'm like much more productive, but I'm kind of sad that I feel like my skills that I've developed for the last, 30 years or so, longer than that, are just kind of becoming less useful. And I see it in industry. I'm in the Silicon Valley. A lot of my friends, they don't write any code. All they do is they write specs now. Right?
Yeah.
And then,
I will say though, like having that knowledge, because here's one way that I'm using it is that I'm having it build landing pages, like really pretty landing pages with HTML that I can just drop into WordPress. And when I don't like something, how it looks on the, like when I get it in the landing page and I don't like how it looks, I can fix it. Right. I can go into the HTML and fix it. I know enough, right, from blogging from all these years. So I don't think it's totally wasted, because I think having the skills that you have, you're probably a much better prompter than most people. You're much better at explaining. It's kind of like watching Dana Michelle give video prompts, right, where she knows exactly how to say things to get the look that she wants. Now, will I think that will probably also get swallowed up at some point? Yeah, probably, right? Like it'll just get better and better. But for now, I do think that's an advantage that you have.
Yeah, it's like a slowly fading. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't think that way. But I was chatting with my buddy who's an engineer, and he's like, I've coded for like the last 35 years, but now that we're using this new paradigm for coding, like I found that I'm not that good at it. Because he's not good at the articulation part, whereas like a project manager or a product person is doing a much better job.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're trained for. So anyway, that's just an aside. We should, let's get into the guts. And the goal of today's episode is to get everyone really excited to actually try it.
Yeah.
And I've been giving a lot of Claude Code lessons in my class,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been several lessons in Profitable Audience too, which is the course that we run.
Yeah.
And I want to get everyone excited about it because I just had a one-on-one yesterday, and I had just given this really awesome lesson on how to use Claude Code to automate your entire meta ads creative generation.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, you just have Claude Code generate all the videos based on your brand, and then it actually sends it off to a tool that makes the videos for you, right? And the whole class loved it. And actually, there's a YouTube video that I just recently put out on that too, and it's gotten a lot of positive feedback. But then when I had that one-on-one yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, did you enjoy that office hours?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I thought it was amazing." I was like, "Well, did you try it yet?" He's like, "No, I'm a little intimidated by Claude Code."
Mm-hmm.
And so, were you intimidated by Claude Code?
Yeah, I literally had to type in where is my terminal, and then it gets better. I was working on something and it told me that I had to to make sure it all worked. I was doing the integration with Kit. And in order to the final step was to shut everything down and reopen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so I shut it down. I was like, I don't even know where it is. Like, how do I find it? Like, where do I get how do I get there again? Like, I don't even know.
Okay,
So
it's interesting hearing it from your perspective.
from a regular person.
Well, no, I mean, I think Claude Code is like the worst name for a tool ever.
Yes.
Code should not be in that name
Yeah.
because it has nothing to do with code.
No, it doesn't. Which
Claude
I
Code
thought it
just
did.
gives you access to your computer. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think, and I don't want to stereotype Mac users, but I think one of the reasons why people love Macs in the Mac world, right? Like everything's integrated, like it's something on my iPad, it's also on my computer, it's also on my phone, it's also on my laptop, all this integration. And also we don't have to know how to do anything very well, right? Because Mac just serves it up to you on a platter. So you don't really have to know any of the technical, and in general, Mac computers just work. And I know that's a huge, I know all the Kevins are going to come at me, but one of the reasons why I think people gravitate towards a Mac is because you don't have to deal with a lot of the tech side of computing, right? You turn your Mac on, everything installs, it's all beautiful and perfect. And so then when all of a sudden it's open your terminal, I'm like, I don't even terminal. What is that? How do I even find that? So once again, I'm back in Claude. Hey, Claude, I have a Mac. Where's my terminal? How do I find it? How do I open it? Right. The cool thing is it will literally walk you through it step by step. So even if you're at where and I'm also I know I can figure this out. It's just something I haven't done before. But I think the nice thing is if you get stuck, literally you can just there was a point because I was setting up all this stuff last week and I was like, I don't understand the difference between X and Y. Right. And so Claude explained it to me and I was like, nope, I need more information. Nope, I need pictures. And I just kept having it broken down until finally I was like, oh, I get it. This makes sense to me. So that's the thing that I think is awesome is that if you don't fully understand what you're doing right away, you can get there pretty quickly.
And if you're interested in learning how to start your own profitable e-commerce business, make sure you sign up for my free 6-day mini course below. It's 100% free and I guarantee you'll learn a ton. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been I think I've learned so much because of that. Because normally, I think it's human nature to be afraid to ask questions because you don't want to come across as dumb, among your peers. And so, it happens to me. I don't want to ask a dumb question to somebody. So now I can ask AI all those dumb questions.
Right. And it never tells you you're dumb.
And it never, exactly, it never tells you. In fact, it inflates my ego too. So.
It actually, there was a study about that though, right?
Yeah, it's called AI psychosis or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Claude
don't
doesn't
lie
really
to
do
me,
that.
Claude. Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. So anyway, I would say for someone who's just starting out and you're already using Claude or ChatGPT, it's time to take the next step.
Yes.
And because you will find that I was already so excited about just the stuff that I could do in AI that was making things a lot easier for me and saving me time. This is a next level time saver.
So let's talk about how it saved time.
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite one is something I literally just did last week, which is I created an email spam filter outer and a reply generator.
Okay.
So now in the morning, like just kind of all automatically. It runs this thing on my computer that goes through all of my gorgeous tickets, marks them the ones that are spam, and just puts them in a separate folder for deletion. I usually review it obviously before it gets deleted.
Yeah.
And then it puts up drafts for the emails that I need to respond to. And that
Nice.
part is still a work in progress because there's so many different topics that you have to train it, right?
Yeah.
How to respond. But the spam thing is like saved my life. Because
Yeah.
we get so much. You're in my gorgeous, right?
Yes,
You see how much
it's
spam comes.
terrible. It's because you told
Yeah.
me the other day, like, can you respond to this person? I was like, I don't even see that email. And then when I waded through like 30 spam emails and found it buried.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And to be
that's a good
fair, by
one.
spam, I mean like solicitations,
Yeah,
not like outright spam, although we do get those too.
yeah,
But people who want to like sponsor the channel or something, like, it's just endless.
yeah. So my favorite one right now, I have a ton. I'm to the point where I think we joke about this, like, oh, I hate that I have to work because I can't do more things with AI. Like, it's really annoying me that I have other things I have to do. So for one of my clients, we use an editorial calendar, which is basically just a glorified spreadsheet, right, in Google Sheets. And it's categorized by the month. And then everything that's happening that month, promotion, events, whatever, goes into the editorial calendar. Now, anytime it's like a big promotion, it also needs a folder in Google Drive. And that folder contains like a marketing brief, a launch plan, graphics, whatever, right? It has all these components. Well, that's like someone's job, right? Now, this is where we're going to get a little bit dicey because this is something that we're paying somebody to do, right? Create these folders in Google Drive. What a dumb job, right? Like anybody can do it. That's like, to me, that's like, if that was part of my job, I would be very miserable because it's like you're just folder creating. So basically, I wrote, well, Claude Code helped me write a script, which you could do this without Claude Code, honestly. But if you don't really know how to do it, then it becomes a lot tougher, right? So I was like, hey, I want you to create me a script that I can, whenever I type something into this cell in the editorial calendar, it automatically populates a folder in Google Drive. This is the naming convention. And that way, whenever we add something to the editorial calendar, everything's already ready to go on the drive side for the team, right? And then you add it into your Google extensions. This becomes more difficult if it's a team drive. You can still do it, but it's not quite as easy. My excitement got screeched to a halt initially because I was like, this isn't working. But to me, that's like a massive time saver, right? Because now everything just gets auto-populated once you add it to the calendar. And so, I mean, you're talking about probably saving 2 to 3 manpower hours a week just from that simple little. And could you do this without Claude Code? Yeah, you could do all the stuff without Claude Code, but you, one, have to know exactly how to do it. And then two, you have to have the time to implement it.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty anal about like looking at the code or whatever it does. But like I've gotten to the point now where just do it. I don't look at anything. Is it working? If it's not working, I just tell it what's not working, and then it figures it out, and then it's working.
Yeah.
And I don't look at anything anymore. That's another reason why my skills, I think, are deteriorating. Like my coding skills.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, I used to, know what I was doing.
Yeah.
For everything. And now the less you use it, that muscle is just getting weaker.
Okay, you want to know another cheat code?
Sure.
So if you're working in something in Claude Code and you're like, this is really cool, I want to teach it to people, it can create a Canva deck for you from what you did. Okay. Like it'll build the deck in Canva, like with everything that you're doing.
Will it make a video tutorial, like a Loom? That'd be pretty sweet.
I haven't tried
Google
that yet.
has that feature actually now.
Yeah.
It's part of Notebook LLM, I think. Like you give it something, it'll create a video presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's one I just discovered like 2 days ago. I'll tell you my absolute favorite one though right now, because this is one that for me is very overwhelming since I work in Klaviyo so much.
Yep.
So you don't have a lot of flows in your Klaviyo, do you? You probably have like 12, 13?
Yeah, something like yeah. Okay. Yeah. How many do you guys have?
187. Anyway.
Oh my God. Okay.
But here's the problem. Whether you have 13 or 187, have you ever tried to export, like you probably export your flows on a monthly basis to review the data?
No.
Or not? Okay. Well, you should. You should be exporting your flows once a month just to be checking on things, seeing if you had like a sharp decline or an increase.
Yep.
These sometimes they get out of date. Well, I will tell you, when you have 187, that is basically impossible, because if you export flows from Klaviyo, even if you aggregate them in the widest way possible, right? So you aggravating them, I think, by like month,
Mhm.
it basically pulls, you get this spreadsheet, and I'm gonna actually show this in office hours. The spreadsheet output that you get, even if you only had 13, they're not sorted together,
Mm.
right? So you have like the name, it's got all the stuff, the name, the open rate, the little number that Klaviyo assigns it, or the code. It's a hot mess of data, right? So what I had been doing, and I thought I was so smart, was taking that spreadsheet and putting that into Chat or Claude and saying like, hey, can you organize this by flow, aggregate, tally, blah, 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 whatever. Still massive amounts of data, especially at 187 flows. Let's just say each flow has 4 emails. We're talking about an insane amount of stuff. So with Claude Code, you basically just say, hey, pull all my flows for April. And I have a whole prompt for this in the lesson. But basically, like, I want to evaluate it based on like how old the flow is, how many people have been in it. You can like pull all that data and it organizes it all beautifully, right? Flow number 1, flow number 2, flow number 3. And then I have it color code a chart of like, this flow hasn't had anybody in it in 6 months. This flow is this flow is that, right? So all of a sudden, what, even using like regular Chat or Claude, I still had to go into Klaviyo, export everything, wait for Klaviyo to
Right.
export it, then upload it in, then format, it's like all this formatting. And then it's like, sometimes it would get like, it was too much data, right, for it to deal with. Now it literally just pipes out a little chart for me and is like, fix these, don't worry about these. These are these are ones you should probably look at, not an emergency,
Right.
right? Delete these, whatever. These are, you should archive these. You haven't used them in 2 years. That's a game changer.
I can't wait to do that analysis with, like for me, I've got so many projects going on, and this is like, it's just so nice to be able to automate this stuff.
Yeah. The really cool thing, and I was thinking about, because some of the arguments that I have with people in my life who will remain nameless say like, you're just excited to put people out of work by doing all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not excited to put people out of work. I want people to do meaningful work, right?
Right.
And exporting and uploading things is not meaningful work. That's just busy work. But what I do think this helps is, and I had this issue with some good friends of ours who had hired someone to work on their Klaviyo, and came to light that basically that person wasn't doing what they were paid to do, right? Well, to me, this is a great, like, I don't think everybody should be managing their own Klaviyo. If you have a decent sized business, this is probably something you should outsource, right? Like, this is probably something you should get help with. But what you can do is check people's work really easily, right? All you need to do is dump it in Claude, like ask Claude Code to do something and check the work. And then you can say like, okay, yeah, this person's not feeding me a bunch of bull, or no, this person is like taking advantage of me because they're not doing what they said they're doing. They said they were going to create 10 flows. Do I have 10 flows? Like, you can check people's stuff, which I think is really valuable, because, if you don't know a lot about Klaviyo or you don't know a lot about Meta, you can start fact checking people and, I think make better business decisions.
I mean, I would argue that if you're checking someone's work, you may as well have Claude do the work and train it, right? Like, I know this sounds terrible, but I mean, you can hire someone to get the flows up and running and whatever, and then
Yes.
train Claude on those flows. And so Claude can create those flows or similar things going forward. And then you just check the work before it goes out. I mean, that's where things are going.
Agree. Yeah.
And then when the robots come out, good Lord, I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, no, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that lesson. I think that you're giving today. I have completely automated my social media with
Yes.
Claude Code, which, you know how much I hate social media,
Yes.
but now it is manageable
Yeah.
because I basically create one piece of content, which these days is my YouTube scripts,
Mm-hmm.
and then I feed it in, and it generates a whole bunch of LinkedIn posts, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah.
And then it all goes into a doc that's it it maintains and generates. And then for the TikToks, I just cut and paste them to my teleprompter, and I just pump them all out all in one fell swoop. Game changer.
So I just started doing this, which I know I'm late to the party, but we have all these type A scripts, right, that I've written, so they're good quality content. And we've talked for probably 2 months now about like, hey, we need to send out like an informational email once a week, right? Just, with type A stuff. And so I was like, yeah, I just need to turn the scripts into emails. Right. So my first thought was like, oh, all my scripts are in Google Docs. Right. So it's like, oh, I'll upload all that to Claude and then I'll have it put in an email. Then I'll copy and paste it into Kit, blah, blah. No, not anymore. Now that I'm all powerful. I literally was like, hey, Claude, in my Claude Code, go to this folder in Google Drive. Here are the scripts. This is, I want these turned into emails, but they're too long for a single email. So I created all these parameters. And this is where I think it gets important, right? You can't just be like, hey, make my scripts into emails. Have a great day, right? You have to give it really good instructions, and you have to check your work, right? Like, so Claude can basically, with, I would say probably any email service provider, but I'm only like working with Kit on this, is it went into Drive, it pulled all the scripts, it used my parameters into creating emails. I had it. And then once I got the first couple, I was like, oh, okay, I missed a couple steps. So I had to change the instructions, right? So then so now literally I started. So once I got it all tweaked how I wanted it set up correctly, I literally set it to run. I went inside, I brushed my teeth, I did my hair, I came back, and I have 87 email drafts in Kit waiting to be sent out. Like, that's insane. And it's all like my work. It's not even like, oh, it's just garbage AI stuff. It's like, no, it's actually based on the content that we already created.
So if you listen to prior episodes, we had been talking very negatively about blogging, right? Whether it's worth it or not. But I'm back to being a believer because I have it now so that all the podcasts and all of the YouTube videos I put out can now automatically generate AEO optimized blog posts. And we're just going for like getting mentioned here, right? We're not necessarily trying to rank for a keyword, although it sometimes happens. Who knows what's going to happen with Google search? They announced in Google I/O, which was, I believe, last week, that search is changing. Yeah. You can now search based on, PDFs, images, videos, and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And those blue links are still going to be there, but who knows how long they're going to be there for, right? So the game now is getting mentioned. So now I have a script that just goes into my YouTube videos and creates blog posts out of them, and then embeds the YouTube video in there. Same with the podcast. It's nuts.
Yeah. So like, I just am like, oh, I've been putting this off for like 6 weeks because I didn't have the time, and all I needed to do was brush my teeth. Like, that's
not what takes a lot of time. Doing your hair, I bet, takes a long time, right?
Did. That was the extra 7 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
So it can actually, now I don't know so this is where I get like a little bit wigged out. Like, I'm not going to have it actually schedule these emails. I want to look at them, right? Because
of course.
I want to double check. I want to make sure, it's what I want to say. And it's like, when I went through the first couple, I would say, once again, like you were saying, 85% of the way there, I wanted to shift a couple things around. One of the things that I forgot to say was, hey, like, I want personalization at the beginning of each email. Like, I don't want it to just, like, it has to say hey or hello, and then it has to have the name tag, things like that. But you won't know that until you start doing it, right? So the second you start doing it, then you're like, oh, okay. And my immediate thought after I did this and have now 87 drafts was like, oh, I need to turn these into LinkedIn posts, right? Like step 2. So that's where, to me, it gets really crazy, is it's like, well, now I can do anything. Like, what, like, there's no limit to what the amount of content you can produce, but there is a limit to the amount of content people can consume.
Sure.
So, I think that's where you have to be a little bit careful. And like, yes, we can create as much content as we possibly could ever create in our life, but people can only consume a certain amount of content a week. So Maybe dial
Well,
it back
I'm
a little
just
bit.
creating it based on what I've written, so it's not like
Yeah.
a whole ton of content, but it's in my voice,
Yeah.
and, the goal here is to get mentioned in AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. And switching gears, I gave a session at Seller Summit about how to code your own Shopify apps. And I think I've mentioned this on the pod many times in the past, but I think the Shopify app store is in trouble, or I should say Shopify app developers.
Hmm.
Did you know that 60% of the apps in Shopify's app store do not have any reviews in it at all?
I only
Which,
know that because you told me, but yes.
which basically means that a lot of those apps are not being installed or used because they
Yeah.
do simple things that you can now do by yourself for
Yes.
free, right? You just have to know how to articulate what you want,
Yeah.
and you can get an app. So that's another great application of Claude Code as well.
So this one is, so I did not use Claude Code for this, but I think if you have a store, you should be doing this. And I'm sure you can use Claude Code for it. I just didn't know. This is before I knew the possibilities. Is if you have a review plugin in your Shopify store, you can actually download all of your reviews. I don't know if you know this.
No, go on. What do
Okay.
you mean?
So you can basically download like a text file of all your reviews, or I don't know how it comes, doc, whatever.
Yeah.
So you can integrate this, I'm sure, with Claude Code and Shopify and get it all automated. But this is before I knew that. So then I basically took all those reviews and I turned the reviews into short form video scripts handling objections to the products.
Oh, nice.
So once again, maybe 15 minutes tops that it took me, because first I had to figure, we use like Judge Me, I think, for the review app. So I wasn't like familiar. I didn't know anything about the app. So I was like, okay, I got to figure out where everything is. But once I did that, like I think I had 50 plus short form scripts on how to handle like objections to things or commonly pieces of feedback, right? So if this certain thing was said over and over again in the reviews, then I made sure that there was like a video about that. But to me, that's like really cool, right? Because that's something, if you are making short form content, handling objections on video as the founder is like a big thing, right? And so that way, instead of like crawling through all your reviews, or even just like exporting them and importing them and then like categorize, like it's all just done. So that one was one I was pretty excited about. So we started recording those last week, but that to me was an exciting find.
Here's something pretty cool that I'm just trying to develop for my students right now is basically you can link up Claude Code to Amazon and it can analyze all of your ad spend and tell you what needs to change and make the appropriate adjustments. There's all this software out there now that manages your Amazon PPC. Like you can pretty much do that on your own now. I don't know. There's just so many things, so many little tools that I wouldn't have had the bandwidth to create in the past.
Yeah.
That I can now create. Here's one that. So I've been upgrading all of our WordPress sites recently, and there's a couple plugins that when I tried to hit the upgrade button, they wanted like recurring amount of money to maintain. Even though I bought like a site license, which I thought was perpetual. They said in order to upgrade to this version, now you got to pay me $50 a month. But the plugin was working fine before. It just wasn't working with the latest version of WordPress. So I just threw the plugin into Claude Code and it's like, hey, adjust this so that it works with WordPress 7, right? And it did it. I plugged it back in and it worked. So it's like, there's no way I'm paying you recurring revenue when I actually paid for a couple plugins.
Yeah, I know. I remember I remember the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and it fixed everything. I didn't look at the code. I didn't touch the code or anything, and it was fixed.
So I know we've been like fawning all over Claude Code. I will share a limitation that I found this week.
Okay.
So one of the ways that I'm like so in love with it is like all of the data analysis that it's doing, and it's like making it very manageable, especially if you have big chunks of information. However, I got on this like, what else can it do with Klaviyo kick, right? I was like, I want to know like the limits. I will say, so one of the things I started having to do was analyze lists, right? Your list health. Because, some of my clients have like massive lists, right? But that not all those people are
Sure.
engaged,
Active.
and
Yeah.
we do the things like, there's sunsets, and we're segmenting people, and we're doing a lot, all the best practices, right? But like, I'm rarely like deep diving into this, right? Because I don't have time. So I had it analyzed, like the full list, all 300,000 or so people. And then it basically was like, okay, these are your buckets, these are your problem children, right? Like this way. And then then it was like, do you want me to create like a segment of these people? Do you want me to start building this? It is inadequate in building segments. And I'm not sure if it is because Klaviyo is like, I don't know. I think sometimes those segments in Klaviyo are confusing about, especially like profile properties and things like that. And I feel like that is not there yet. Now, did it tell me everything I needed to do and I could build a segment? Yes. It just didn't use the right terminology to find it in Klaviyo, which is kind of funny because it's connected. But I will say, like, that's one I think deficiency right now. Probably won't be a deficiency by the time this airs, but that's something where I was like, oh no, I have to go in and do a little bit of manual work, but not complaining.
Oh, you got to go in there and do some manual
I know.
work.
I
hate it
know.
when that happens. Yeah.
Right?
How did you know that it just aired out creating the segment? Like, how did you know? Did you just double check it?
I double checked it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still double check everything because I don't
Yeah.
trust. Like, I mean, speaking of deficiencies, like one time I accidentally gave Claude Code permission to do something. It was just kind of on a whim because sometimes you just click yes,
Yes.
yes,
You just
yes to
keep
give it
click.
permission.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Don't ask me again. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I noticed it started modifying files outside of the project directory. And it's because I gave it permission to do this a while. And thankfully, nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
But you have to be a little bit careful about the permissions that you give it.
Yeah.
You've probably heard stories on the news how one lady had Claude accidentally delete all of her emails or something like that. It could happen in
It
theory.
could.
Yeah,
It could.
if you're not careful.
I feel like there's so many checks though.
Well, that's the problem, right? Because it asks you so many times that you end up just going yes, 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 yes.
That's
yes,
true.
yes.
That's
Right.
true. And I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
half the time I don't know what it's asking me. I'm like, sure, you can do that. I don't really know what that means. I'm sure it's fine.
I mean, a lot of people I know just give it blanket permissions so it doesn't
Yeah.
have to deal with that, right? I'm not
Yeah.
at that point yet.
No, I wouldn't be. So
which is why actually so Jen hasn't had the fun of playing around with Claude Code. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to install it on a VPS.
mhm.
So it's not related to my machine or anything at all, and it's in the cloud, and anybody who I want using it can use it. And who cares what it can do in the cloud, right? It's not attached to the
Right.
computer or whatnot. And so I think that's what I'm going to do next.
Okay. That's too advanced for me.
Well, no, it's the same stuff. It's just a different machine, right?
Yeah.
Up in the cloud that everyone can access. I mean, that's one disadvantage right now. The way I'm using it personally is it's tied to my computer.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Which I don't love, but
Yeah,
only because I swap back and forth between computers.
that's right.
Yeah.
I only have one computer at home. Oh, my laptop, but I don't do anything major on my laptop because the screen's too damn small. At the font sizes that I need now, like I can't fit very much on the screen.
Yeah,
but there you have it.
I'm excited. I think that the time savings alone, if you're already using Claude, you need to move over to Claude Code because it's going to save you that extra step that I didn't realize that I was not taking advantage of that until I figured it out, right? So I think it will save you additional time and the amount of things that it can do. And if you ever get stuck, you literally just ask Claude how to do the next thing, and it will walk you through you can have it dumbed down as much as possible, and it will get you through to the next step.
And if you're not using Claude Code, just think about it this way. You're going to be behind all those people that do use it, just from a productivity perspective. And if you're one of those people who are using it and you're going up against a lot of people who aren't using it, which is probably the majority of people right now, you're going to get way ahead. So at least just give it a try.